So when I was making this, I actually made this part straight, and it needs to go down and then over. So what I like to do is weld this piece on first. So I'll put some tacks on there, and then put that on, and then I'll trace off where this thing's supposed to be. And then it needs this little support piece here, which is actually, I put a little void in it right here, but that's fine. To put this piece of metal on that goes down to this corner. So that's how that goes. And you can see this needs to be straight for a little bit, down to say about right here. So I'm going to go ahead and put that on so I know where to put that. You know, everything's references. You always leave parts together, like to keep your corners, so you know what. Like this is for the other side, because I can kind of see what was going on here. But the side from this side was so roached out that I couldn't save it. So I just am using this side as a reference to figure out how to make this side. Okay? That's what you always do. You always leave something there for you to reference.
It's like brakes.
Yeah, you always want to leave, like if you do your brakes, you do one side at a time. You look at the other side to see, you know, how the springs went and all that. But on these, whenever you do metal work, you always leave something in. Try to leave something there to make it easier, because trying to figure it out from scratch is always harder. So anyway, I'll let you guys watch. We'll do some more repair here. Pretty much fits terrible, but I'm just trying to get this edge. So what I'll do is I'll just put another piece over here. It'll be double stacked, but then I'll just grind all that off. And when it's all done, unless you grab your finger and pinch it, which you really can't do back in this hole, you'll never know. And then I'll throw a couple of other pieces of sheet metal in here, because remember, this is behind here, so that I can stack on the top of this and it'll still be right at butt level. So I'll probably play around with that, and then this piece can go on. Then I can figure out, like I said, where to start my edge. So I'll pinch these two together and get that line, so I'll have that nice line all the way down. And then you'll finish this out by hand with the filler. You'll see that later in some other videos. But I need to weld this thing in so that I can start playing with it from here. Because I'll weld it in here, along here, then I can start shaping this a little bit tighter so that it keeps this straight line going down. So right now it's a little bit crooked. You can see. I'll get it clamped right, and then we'll move on. Doesn't like that. I'm just putting this in there to strengthen it up a little. Is there any gas left? Let me try something here to see if the line's kink or something. Alright, let me grind this thing. Yeah. Alright, so I got this thing here made. All I did was bend it and then just cut a bunch of slits in here. This time I just used the plasma cutter. I'm going to put this in, and with the other piece is going to go over the top of this. So I wanted to underlay this piece so that I didn't have double stacked metal, and that's a problem. So having one metal over the other, you can usually fake it in pretty good, but having two, it's just too hard to do. So I'm just going to do that, and then I don't know, I may cut some of this off, I'm not sure. I'll just weld it in place now, and then I'll figure it out after I get it in. I could just take the plasma cutter and just whip through that real quick. Wouldn't take but a second to cut off a section of that. I don't want too much overlap. If you have like too much lap, and then it makes it harder for you to knock it down. So keep that in mind when you're doing your lap welding. Alright, so that's how that went. It looks like hell, but once it gets ground down, it looks great. We'll come back and look at it a little bit later. And then once it's got filler on it, you won't even see anything. And this is kind of how you do these here, if you want to try and do this stuff like yourself. And then I just sit there and just gather one, and I'll gather the next one and kind of just watch it and knock it down and stuff, and just work it along until everything's the way I want it. The contour is right, and it's round. You don't really notice anything when it's all done. So like I said, when I get it all done, when I get we get to filling stuff, you'll start seeing some of that stuff. It starts looking good. I'm gonna do some of this part off camera because it's just a pain in the butt to do on camera. So, but I think you guys get the idea. Let's take a look over here. And then what's cool is, because I'm up this close to the tail light, I'm just going to grind these down and put just a, I'm not even going to knock it low, because if it cracked, it's going to be underneath the rubber. Aren't going to see that. And over here, that's how that ended up. I got my line just a little bit off. I'll just take the grinder, I'll pinch those together, weld them from the inside, and I just edge weld it. I'm not going to try and punch holes in it and do it that way for that little piece. I'll just edge weld the edge, grind it all down, make it look semi-normal, and then when I get done, I'll take the grinder or the cutoff wheel, and I'll straighten this out a little bit, and then what I'll do is fill it, and then I take the my vinyl spreader and I scribe it while it's still wet. If I get it too late, then I just take my cutoff wheel and I cut a straight line in it, and then finish it out and make it look just like that by filler. So as long as you're close, usually you can get it to what look good. You know, get it to look really, really perfect too, if you want. You know, it depends on how much time you want to spend, even with lap welding. It's just the metalwork guys can't do this because you're paying them for metalwork. You're not paying them for body work. Body men do this all the time. So there's this new thing, you know, out in the last 15 years, metalwork, guys that just do metalwork. So they didn't used to have that. It was just a body man and a painter, and now they have this metalwork guy, you know, who does all the fabrication and all this stuff. So, you know, it's just become another money-making vehicle for someone, and for people who want stuff really perfect. So anyway, when this is done, like I said, you won't even see it. It'll be just like everything else, just flows right into everything. Alright, so all these here I'll just push together. See, like that's going out on an angle. That's going to get knocked in really far to where it's lining up, and then just start tack welding it one at a time until it's all straight and on there. It takes a lot of time though. So like for 130 bucks, you know, today it's probably worth to buy the corner, where when it was $500 for a corner, it was just not an option. So like for the single cab here, you know, I was looking at these are like $450 or $500 for this little short corner. Crazy. I don't even get it. But you can buy the grill section, which to me that's the hardest part to make, right? For 60 bucks. So I guess I'll be making those. The reason, again, like I'm doing this is because some of you guys are, you know, into the total no budget deal, or no budget deal, no money, and you're trying to make it work. And this can teach you how to do some of your own metal work. This is how you can do any panel. You can make almost anything by slit cutting and pie cutting and making stuff fit. Alright, I'll talk to you in this video. Please like, share, and subscribe. Move on from here.